All right, we're starting at home. We're taking our gloves. I have a drink. We both have waters, and our masks are in the car.
Ready to go.
Let's go.
Let's go, girls. Bow.
In the words of my husband, let's go, girls. Dun, dun, da, da, dun, dun, dun. All right, so immediately I just wanted to start off by showing you how many tons of clothing and items are donated every single day. Please stop telling me that I'm stealing from the poor. There are shots later in the video that will literally show you how many things are still left when they take the bins back to the back of the store. And those bins are probably just going straight to a landfill. So I would really appreciate if the comments were not about how I'm stealing, and rather how I'm actually helping by doing my part and giving some of these pieces of clothing a second life. Anyway, that is my rant, and now it is over. As I was brainstorming about what I wanted to portray through this video, I decided on showing you how to thrift while at the Goodwill bins, because it is not a natural thing. It's very hard. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people. Some people will push you. Some people will be mean. Some people will make comments about how much you have in your cart or how little you have in your cart. What are you doing here? Do you belong? And some people will be nice as well. But I do think that it can be kind of difficult, kind of scary, especially if you're going in for the first time. You're just going to think, maybe I'm being judged right now. Maybe I'm being looked at. People are like, she doesn't know what she's doing, etc. So if you came here to know what you're doing before you head to the Goodwill bins, well, you're in the right place. Let's start with before we even head out the door to go to the Goodwill bins. The first thing you want to do is be fueled and prepared. Drink some water. Get your carbs in, because you're about to go do a workout. I'm not even kidding. I'm not being dramatic. It is a workout if you want to dig, and find substantial pieces of clothing and things that you actually were looking for. It's not just, oh, I'm going to find it right off the bat. No, it's I'm going to dig for hours before I find something that I actually like. So definitely go prepared. Fuel yourself beforehand. Secondly, what are we bringing with us? I personally like to bring gloves, just in case I'm touching something that I wasn't necessarily thinking I was going to touch, like a soiled pair of pants. I've seen plenty of those inside the bins. I also personally like to wear a mask so I'm not breathing in, I don't know, different kinds of things that can just be corralled up as you dig around in these bins. That kind of sounds nasty, but I do like gloves and a mask. I also like to bring water. I usually will keep it in the car. I also like to bring hand sanitizer that I will probably keep in the car if I need to wash my hands for some reason. Even though I'm wearing gloves, I'll just go to the bathroom. But otherwise, once I get to the car, I'll take the gloves off and I get a very in-depth sanitization of my hands. And for some odd reason, I always forget to bring a bag, but that's an important one as well. Like a big grocery bag where you can just put all of your finds inside, because they will not provide bags. And also it's just better for the environment if you're bringing a reusable bag. Psst, that's the stuff that they brought out and everybody had already dug through, and they're going to send straight to a landfill. So no, I'm not stealing. There's so much left. Anyway, let's get back to our thrift tips. So we know what we're bringing. We know that we need to fuel ourselves beforehand, but now what do we wear? I personally love to wear comfy clothing and just something lightweight, because let me tell you, it gets hot in there, like sweating, dripping hot, like no AC hot. You're gonna get hot. So wear comfy clothes and lightweight clothes. And if you're buying for yourself and you like to try stuff on, then I would probably wear something like an athletic jumpsuit that I can throw clothes over, just so that it makes it easier for me to try it on. But now we're going to go through everything we found. And we're going to be making our decisions. I do love finding free people, but sometimes it has holes in it or it's just stained and it's just not the right thing.
I think it's kind of cool, but it's a shame.
And that, ladies, is the kind of king we want to keep in our lives. Anyway, let's continue on with our thrift tips specifically for the bins, because I have a big one that I wanted to share. Do not take your time with each piece as you are doing the digging. I recommend you find something that you're like, maybe this is a yes, just throw it in your cart and then we'll do the deciding later. And I will say the deciding might not be the best part.
What's the point of that? There's nothing here for me.
And people might crowd around you thinking you have all the goods.
Extra small.
So I highly recommend that when you are doing the deciding at the end, you find a little corner tucked away like I did in the video, even if it didn't help me too much.
We'll do maybe here.
Pesos.
Oh, baby, you were doing it. You didn't wait long enough.
And if you're a reseller, beware because you probably will want to keep everything.
I really like this one.
My next tip would be to really determine how you feel on that day. Are you wanting someone to be helping you as you're making your decisions, or are you just feeling like you would like to go alone? Be honest with yourself and really know this ahead of time, because either way, you will feel strongly about it once you get to the bins.
Really?
What, you think no?
I think no.
On this particular day, I wouldn't say I was like super excited to be making my own decisions, so it was very helpful to have my opinionated king there with me, telling me yes or no or what he thought about certain things. And yes, of course, I still make my own decisions. If I really like something and he doesn't, I'll still get it. But on this particular day, I really did want somebody there, and so it was very helpful for me.
It's right there.
Oh my gosh. There's the logo to 10 minutes fine. Did you know that Fabletics makes men's clothing?
And like I said, really be honest with yourself, because if I wasn't feeling like explaining things, then I probably would not have wanted him to come, and then I would have communicated that I would like to go alone. Continuing on with my next tip, it would probably be to not focus just on brands, but to focus on quality and exactly what you've been searching for. Maybe you have a list, maybe somebody asked you for something specific, or maybe you're just focusing on the trends that are occurring in our day-to-day and realizing that they're probably coming back around, so you can get vintage that wasn't necessarily a big brand that you were into, and it will still sell if you're a reseller, or it will still be in style if you just love fashion. My next tip is, again, being honest with yourself, but this time just about how you're truly feeling. If you're feeling at peace, because let me just tell you, it's chaotic and people can be mean, and if you're not feeling at peace, then it could truly be a better idea to maybe stay home and go to the bins on a different day, because I will be the first one to tell you that it can definitely test your patience, and people can be mean, and it's just a difficult thing to deal with. And if you're not feeling at peace, then don't decide to do this kind of rigorous work.
Large buttons.
I think I'd say no.
To this?
Yeah.
Why? It's so cute.
It's like a kid's thing.
It's an extra small, actually.
Oh, it is?
I heard a really helpful tip once too that I want to include in this video, but I do want to say that I heard it from another reseller, and I can't truly remember who it was, but I know it was on Instagram, and she was just sharing that sometimes you buy things because you're there, but it's not really because you want them or you need them, or you're actually going to be happy about the fact that you got them once you get home. You know what I mean? So she gave this really helpful tip of what you can do to avoid purchasing items that you actually are not that excited for. And here's what she said. And let me preface with, this tip might actually be hard to do at the bins because it's usually larger quantities, it's happening at such a fast pace, and there's so much going on. But what she said was, put it in your cart. Look away for a few minutes and then try to think about what is in your cart. If you can't remember exactly what's in your cart, then you probably don't want those items as much as you think you do. And I thought that was so interesting. There are times where I don't even remember what I got. Like, I had to leave it in the car and I had to stop somewhere and I don't even remember what I picked up. And if I'm not that in love with it, then why am I getting it? And I think that's a really good tip for people that are buying stuff and thrifting stuff for themselves. Of course, for resellers, you're buying certain brands, you're buying things that you know will sell. But for someone who's buying for themselves, like, just buy the things that you know you will wear. I just thought it was a really cool tip. And if you don't believe me when I say it's chaos in there, just listen to this interaction between someone who worked there and someone who was throwing stuff around. And yes, unfortunately, it was a grown man throwing things around the store, throwing things, different items, pieces of clothing, just throwing them like they were footballs. I'm so confused, don't understand why. Also, that girl power shirt was so cute, and I just really liked it, and it kind of fit the Barbie-esque theme that I was trying to find. A video on that, I believe it's going to be a short, is actually coming soon. So if you want to see what Barbie would wear according to me and my thrift experience, you should definitely go check out my shorts. Okay, so I'm going to be a little bit contradictory to some other people. Is contradictory even a word? Contradicting to what other people would probably suggest when you go to the bins. But if where you are at, they are switching out the bins, that means they're bringing out the new stuff and they're taking those bins to the back, right? If they are doing this, you will see that most people are lining up in front of it and waiting. Now, if you are new to the bins, you're not allowed to touch it until they say go. Basically, it's kind of like a race. It's quite crazy. It's a race to see who can find the most stuff as they dig through new bins that were just brought out. But anyway, so don't touch it. That's one tip. Don't touch it until somebody says go, because you might get yelled at and it might be embarrassing and scary. People will obviously be understanding, but yeah, just understand that you're not supposed to. But what I was going to say is I don't actually like to join those lines and just stand there, because you have to stand there until they bring all the bins out, which can sometimes be like 15 minutes, and you're just standing there waiting. You just have like your placement and you're waiting till they say go. What I like to do instead is, instead of going to the bins that are about to come out and waiting there, I like to go to the ones that had just come out before these, and I like to look through there because people are going so fast, they miss so many things, and I just think it's a great idea. Anyway, thank you for being here. This is us purchasing our total, and we made it to 1,000 subscribers. I love each and every one of you. You matter.
Through the fields of our paths, feelings part our ways, keeping us close but estranged now. Dreams holding us closer.